Hey folks, good afternoon. It's Victor Snope, Mayor of Aztec. It's Thursday, July 9th, 2020. I just got off the New Mexico Department of Health website for the weekly COVID-19 update. As of this afternoon, we have 14,251 confirmed cases throughout the state of New Mexico, and that's after 395,881 tests that have been conducted statewide. Sadly, we have 533 deaths throughout the state. Here in San Juan County, we have 2,628 confirmed cases with 167 confirmed deaths for coronavirus-related complications. And that's out of 25,065 tests that have been conducted here in the county. In 87410 zip code, the Aztec area, we have 76 confirmed cases. And, we don't really have a lot of good news to report this week, unfortunately. And quite honestly, we've kind of taken a step back in the recovery phase, so to speak. And as many of you may have seen in the governor's conference today, and if you haven't seen it, you can check it out on Facebook, and I'm sure it'll be available through other media sites and social media platforms and things like that, newspapers, etc., within the next several hours or in the morning. But we're putting a little bit of a hold and actually moving back to some earlier restrictions surrounding things like indoor dining, etc. I'm not going to go through a comprehensive list because when I checked, the new order hadn't been published on the website yet, and I don't want to misstate some of the things and muddy the water or confuse anybody. But so I highly recommend that you first go to that website as the main source of information and check it out for yourself. Read the information that's on there. It is in English and Spanish. And so if you have folks that their English is not their first language, you can refer them to the Spanish section as well. We're sandwiched in between two states that are spiking very rapidly in their daily case counts. Nationwide, we're at one of the highest rates that we've been since the beginning of this pandemic back in the spring. And there's some states on either side of us in Arizona and Texas that are two of the hottest spots in the nation. And we are kind of right in between trying to hold our own and hold our ground as far as the gains that we've made. And we're slipping a little bit, quite frankly. And we have to continue to make sure that we are doing things that we need to do to get out of this thing. Wearing a mask. And I actually had a lady message me on Facebook through my mayor's page and asked me to do a quick demo. So here you go. This is not wearing a mask. That's kind of a chin strap, okay? And if you played football when you were a kid, you had those on your helmet. This is how you wear your mask. You need to make sure you're covering your mouth, covering your nose. Most of these have little wires in here to kind of snug them down to your face a little bit. And that way, if you're sneezing or coughing or close to somebody or talking, obviously, you got to raise your voice a little bit, which I have no problem doing. But this keeps, you from breathing out of your nose and out of your mouth and having any of those vapor droplets get in the air or prevent most of them from getting in the air anybody within a couple of feet of you. And no, it is not foolproof. It is not a cure-all. It is not the one thing that's gonna, the silver bullet that's gonna get us out of this pandemic. But it's one of the best things that we have right now. It's not a political statement, whether you wear a mask or not. It's a basic humanity statement that when you wear that mask, regardless of how you feel about some of these things or these mandates, it's saying that you care about the person around you. You care about them, you care about their family, and you care about the people that they're coming into contact, just as their mask is saying the same thing to you, that they respect you enough as a human being that they don't want to take the risk of getting you sick, even if they're not sick and it doesn't affect them. It's part of the social contract that as humans over the millennia, we have started to kind of refine and perfect in 2020, America, that we try and take care of each other and we try and look out for one another, even if we don't necessarily agree with everything, all of the content and all of the ideology, behind some of these things. I read a thing from Dr. Fauci the other day saying that I don't know how to tell you that you should care about your fellow human being. And that's really what it boils down to. We don't have a vaccine. Everybody hasn't been tested yet. So these are some of the things, the only lines of defense that we have right now until we get all of those things under control. It's about basic caring of the person around you and about the people in your community. And that's really what I'm going to leave you with, is that we have to care about one another, and we have to make sure we're trying to care for one another to get through this. Otherwise, we might be kind of hitting a restart button with some of the restrictions that we have and getting kids to school in the next 6 weeks or so, roughly, getting back out into public events, sports, things like that. That's the one thing that you can do. This is the one thing that everybody can do to help us get to that point. And I ask you, as a father, as a grandfather, as a community leader, as an elected official, to do your part the best that you can. Practice COVID safe practices. If you can stay home, stay home. If you're out exercising, don't be around a bunch of people. And if you're in a business or you're out shopping or you're around anybody, wear a mask. Thank you. Have a great weekend and take care of each other.